Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we continue our conquest of obscure chess variants, and today we're playing Explosive Magic, which combines Atomic Chess, where pieces except for pawns explode when they are captured, King of the Hill, where placing the king in the middle 4 squares wins the game, and Spell Chess, where you can freeze 3x3 areas of the board. This variant also features the Dragon Bishop, which moves like a bishop and a knight that can't jump, a General, which moves like a king and a knight, and the Dragon Knight, which is a knight that just can't jump. My goal is to win one game. Let's get started with game number 1. Alright, game number 1, we get paired against a Gymnast rated 1487, and we do get the black pieces. Now, from the get-go, I think the most obvious way to try and win this is to activate one of these Dragon Bishops and drop it off right next to the king, and Atomic Style blow up the king to win the game. So I'll start by playing, I guess, the equivalent of e5. And again, my goal is really just to develop this Dragon Bishop and get it in front of that king with a capture of some kind as fast as possible. We get, you're the YouTuber? I am. Good luck with the trademark smiley face. It's so funny to watch you guys out here in the wild. Ooh, whoa. Okay, so our opponent is trying to win this King of the Hill style by dropping the king off in the middle 4 squares. Now, is there any way for me to stop this? This is highly amusing. I think I can go here. I think this makes sense. And kind of what I'm looking for, right, is the king advancing. But now I should be able to place the Dragon Bishop here. It would cover these 2 squares like a bishop, and it would even cover this square like a knight, so the king shouldn't be able to continue advancing at that point. The problem is it doesn't really create any threats, because again, this Dragon Bishop can't jump over pieces, so it's not actually putting the king in check. But I think it's my best way of stopping them from advancing. Oh my goodness, I forgot about the spells. Oh, that's such a good find. Yeah, so they freeze basically the only piece that I've managed to develop, and then advance the king as well. So, okay, probably what I should have done was freeze the king when it was back here, but I'll be honest, I was so busy balancing King of the Hill and Atomic Chess that I totally forgot that Spell Chess was in this too. Okay, we'll freeze the king. I think that's the natural course of action, which should unfreeze our Dragon Bishop on the next turn. So I guess I can just make a waiting move of any kind and look to develop another Dragon Bishop. Oh! Is that checkmate? Oh, I guess it is checkmate. I don't think I've ever delivered a checkmate like that. Okay, let me firstly say good game. That's kind of crazy. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Right, the king is in check. There's nothing attacking the Dragon Bishop, so there's no way out of check, and the king is frozen. So I guess that is checkmate. Okay, with that, we win game number 1. There's a lot of exploring to be done, I can tell already in this variant. Let's go to move on to game number 2. Oh, and they do offer a rematch. All right, let's try a rematch on for size. Okay, this time I get to develop. I don't personally like the idea of running the king into the middle, and especially after that game, I really don't want to give that a try. I think I would rather try and win this Atomic Chess style. Okay, so I think the obvious move here is bring the Dragon Bishop out this way, and obviously I'm threatening to win by capturing this pawn, which again would explode a 3x3 square, which, lucky for me, includes the king. Okay, so they simply advance the pawn. Now, I can't really get any closer. The general does a really good job of defending here, covering the square like a knight, and then obviously I can't move here simply because of the pawn. I could spend more time trying to reroute and remaneuver this bishop around. Like, I could play something like this and just try to be super sneaky. But I think I'm going to take a moment to develop another Dragon Bishop and look for a different way to approach the king. Okay, so now I should be able to play here, and should they capture my quote-unquote free Dragon Bishop? But again, remember in Atomic Chess, there's nothing that's ever free. Everything is an exchange. Whatever captured also disappears off the board. And not to mention that was a sacrifice because now I can take the pawn and grab the king with it. Now, it seems I have a rating in this already, which I'm assuming is because the variant ELO is combined with another variant, which seems to be a pretty recurring theme where you have these sort of composed ratings. But that, I guess, puts us just shy of 1700. Again, I'm having a lot of fun with this variant. I think there's a lot of analysis that needs to be done here. But with that, we have 2 victories under our belt. Let's go to move on to game number 3. All right, this is a busy variant. I'm getting paired very quickly. Again, if you guys want to try this out yourself, it will be the first link in the description, so you can go to chess.com and give this variant a try. Oh, this time I've just realized we get paired with a 1900 rated opponent, so I'm going to assume they know their way around this variant better than I do. So we'll keep an eye out for what they do. On the bright side, they've started with the same move that we have been starting with. This seems to be sort of like the 4-move mate of this variant. Oh, okay. And they immediately develop their bishop, looking for this explosion. So obviously the first thing I have to do is freeze the bishop. That's kind of the no-brainer move that has to happen here. But as far as my own plans go, what exactly do I do here? I guess I could oh, this can't jump. I totally forgot about that. Holy cow, they've managed to stifle my entire position with a single move. Okay, how do I continue to make progress here? Maybe this? This just seems abysmally slow. I don't feel like this bishop is gonna get out in time. On the bright side, these spells do have a cooldown, so you have to wait 3 turns before you can use a spell again, which also means that now that I've used my spell right behind the opponent's usage of their spell, I'm kind of right in tempo with them. So, the cooldown will pass, and should they use another free spell again to put me in a critical position, then I can use a free spell to stop their attack, the exact same way that I did the first time. So they advance this pawn, they're threatening this capture again. Now remember, in Atomic Chess, there is really no such thing as free material. So what I can do here is I can advance this pawn, and this bishop cannot capture. Well, technically it could capture, but it would take out the dragon bishop and the pawn itself. I will say I'm very happy that I've now gone 3 times through those original variants, Spell Chess and Atomic Chess included, actually King of the Hill included as well, because it gives me a much better baseline for my sort of activities in this variant, which seems to be the amalgamation of all of those combined. Okay, I might be critically in danger here. So the dragon bishop comes out. It targets the general, which obviously should it be able to capture would take out my king. If I advance one of these pawns to block the dragon bishop, am I going to get destroyed by that dragon bishop jumping into my position? No, because should it advance, I can take back. So again, there is no such thing as free material in Atomic Chess. Everything is an exchange. It might be a favorable exchange or an unfavorable exchange, but it's always an exchange. Something always has to go. In this case, of course, this would be favorable, and they would lose an entire dragon bishop, which is probably the key attacking piece in this variant, and I would lose a single pawn. So this might kind of be the meta with the black pieces. In regular chess, obviously white gets to move first, so the sort of running trend is that white fights for a slight advantage, and black fights to get equality and then later advantage. And it doesn't seem so different in this variant. Okay, they do advance the dragon bishop, and I've just realized I've actually fallen victim to my own reasoning, because I said that should they play the dragon bishop here, I can just take. But again, there's no such thing as a free piece, so it would actually be a totally fair trade. And if I don't, I guess they could just drop the dragon bishop here and fork my entire position. So I'm actually forced to capture this, I believe. All right, so that takes out both of our dragon bishops. You can see we both have 4 spells left to use, but we've been fully recharged as well. So we'll see if the opponent tries to make something of that. Okay, we get pawn to e5, trying to get me to take so that they can come in with the sacrifice and take out the king. I guess I could try and play for some sort of counterattack. Should they take, it would blow up my pawn as well, so they would be once again threatening this tactic. Or actually, the other thing I could do is just advance my pawn. Should they take, that would actually be favorable for me, because then I can take their dragon bishop. So should they take, they should probably drop a free spell right here to leave that bishop open. But the problem is I also have a free spell. Remember, I used mine right after the opponent used theirs, which means mine would also be recharged, refreshed, reloaded. Okay, we get this pawn advance, probably just preparing for that dragon bishop check. Is there any other way we can get into that position? I could go this way, but I sort of allowed their dragon bishop into my position, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm gonna do this. Kind of a slow move though. Just trying to get one of my bishops into play. I think that's what the opponent's trying to do as well. But then I can just, I can't just do that. That is not a knight. This is a knight that can't jump. Oh my goodness. The bane of my existence. Okay, so if they do give this check, now I have to think about this. They could place a freeze spell. But again, I'm saved by the fact that I also have a freeze spell. Okay, we might be okay here. They do give the check. If I place the freeze spell, then they would just counter place it. So that does nothing for me. Obviously I can't block with anything. I could block with the bishop, but it would just get exploded. If I block with the dragon bishop, I'm not even sure that's a game worth playing. I might have to just walk the king out here. Oh, walk of shame. Absolute walk of shame. Okay, we'll see what we can make of this. Weirdly enough, should they play this, I think I might even just play e5, with the idea that should they take this way, obviously it would take out the bishop as well, because it would be within that radius. Okay, the dragon bishop comes into play. I'm not exactly sure what it's looking for. It's looking for this. Okay, so yeah, that would give check. Should I take, it would also take out my king. Okay, so I should, and I can't move back because then they just take. Ooh, yeah, as soon as you see that king coming out to play, you're probably in a bad spot. Okay, maybe I have to shuffle over this way. Yeah, this is a tragically critical position, but I think I have to move here. Now, luckily, there aren't any pieces around my king that can be captured by the dark squared bishop that would threaten my king. Obviously, something like this would be really annoying because it would take out a bunch of pieces at once, but it wouldn't actually be mate. What I do have to be concerned about is this dragon bishop working its way in, so I'd have to be willing to basically throw a bunch of pieces in their general direction and hope that it stops the bishop. Okay, this pawn advances, probably trying to develop this bishop at some point, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, this is really slow, but I think I have to start getting rid of these attacking pieces. Again, I don't want to use my freeze spell because I want the opponent to use theirs, and then I use mine, and then basically we're dead even. Okay, the bishop does come into play. Holy cow. Okay, let's develop my dragon bishop. I'm running super low on time here as well. And I really don't like this bishop getting cozy with my pieces, much less with my king. Okay, they're down to 25 seconds. I always feel bad, excitedly mentioning how low on time the opponent is, especially when I'm really just not doing that well over the actual board. But it is something that realistically you need to take into account. Okay, the general comes out to play. Should I bring my dragon bishop in? I guess it would threaten this, but then the pawn advances, and then my dragon bishop has nowhere to continue that attack. Maybe I can sacrifice my own bishop, or I could do this and then just freeze all of these pieces, and then they would freeze my dragon. Let's give it a try. Okay, I have to place the freeze spell first. So let's do this and then that, and just see what happens. I mean, you'd imagine they're just gonna freeze my dragon bishop and then do something else, like attack it or something. Right, that's holy cow, that's exactly what they do. Let's go here and create a counter threat. Dragon bishop for dragon bishop. I'd be more than happy to walk into that. Okay. I think this is kind of okay. They're low on time. I'm not. I mean, I'm still in a kind of critical position over here, but I have a little more freedom now. So I can just shuffle the king over. Actually, they could just give this check, which is that's just kind of annoying. Okay. I'll go, I guess here. I can't go there. Okay, I'll go back. I was trying to run away and then take your bishop, but we'll call it even. Pawn advances. Do I actually make progress here is the real question. Can I make progress? How even better question. Holy cow, I'm low on time. Okay, let's do this. Maybe I can lure them into taking, and then I can get that bishop off of my back and get my own pieces into play. That's exactly what they do. Now let's dive in for the counterattack. All right, they advance the general. So you'd imagine I want to do something like this. I don't have a general to my name, which is kind of a scary prospect. Oh, and I forgot to mention that pawns promote on this rank. That's not even in the intro. I'm so sorry. Okay, we all realize that at the same time now. Okay, I'm moving back, I guess. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is very, very bad. Very critical position. Maybe I can do this. Aha, he'll never see it coming. They will never see this idea coming. Surely. A 1900 rated player? Oh, of course they see it. Okay, I kind of have to take. And that just hands the initiative back to them. Okay, they move forward. Is there any chance here at all? Maybe I do this. Is this mate? Yeah, that's mate. They could just walk the general down. Okay, why is this not? Okay, it's technically not mate just because I have the freeze spell. That's the only reason that's not mate. Let's go, I don't know, here. That's my only chance is they blunder that somehow. But they should be able to just freeze my king, and then this should be mate because I can't actually take that with my king without exploding it. Right, so that is checkmate. Very, very well played game by the opponent. They just make the waiting move to drop the freeze spell. All right, with that, we actually lose our first game. But that was really, really fun. I have to be honest, I'm really liking this variant. I will say that one game victory that I will be saying at the beginning, they offered a rematch. No, come back. Oh, I wanted to play with them again, but I was too busy yapping. Oh, there's the rematch. Okay, let's go. I will say the one game sort of goal that I state at the beginning of each video is more so an insurance policy because a lot of these variants do have longer time controls, like 10 minutes. And if I get stuck playing, 7 games, it could be like a 2-hour episode. All right, we get pawn to e5 by the opponent. Of course, we are going straight for the gullet on this one. We cannot give this opponent any space to breathe. We've already learned the hard way that they are a very talented explosive magic player. So we've got to try and keep the pressure on them as best we can. Okay, the pawn advances. This is kind of the strategy we were looking at earlier. Actually, this might be the exact same game we played earlier as well. Okay, let's do this. And I just want to bring another dragon into the game. They follow suit. Oh, and that's why I should have played there to stop their own attacking idea. Okay, well, that's fair. And now I'm gonna completely lose my advantage of having played as white. Unless I do this. How about this? We just offer a fair trade. Should they capture, then I get the tempo again, and we basically just traded off dragon bishops, but it's my turn again, and I'm not behind on that tempo anymore. Man, I said I was going to keep the pressure on, and the first thing that I do is get the tables turned against me. Oh, there we go. The other dragon bishop comes in as immediate backup. Of course, I can never take theirs, not only because it would explode both of my dragon bishops, but because they have mate here in 1. Okay, I guess I have to play defensively now. We'll play here and stop that dragon bishop. Dragon bishop moves in. Oh, and should I take? I'm going to be honest, I did see that idea, but in my head it was like, okay, it's a fair trade, so it's fine. But then that reinvigorates this mating threat. So what do I actually do here? Maybe I just play the general here. Should they take? It would take out the general too, though, which is really not great. I mean, I could also place a freeze spell on this dragon and then take this one. Then what would the opponent do? They would probably place a freeze spell somewhere to like target one of my bishops or something, and then unfreeze. No, they would place a freeze spell here. Okay, that is not even close to being a box. There we go. To stop me from defending. But then I can move my bishop into the freeze, so maybe that's okay. I'm gonna freeze this dragon bishop and take here. I think that's okay. Now, again, what I'm kind of anticipating is a freeze spell somewhere in this general area to try and stop me from being able to defend this pawn, and then basically they can make whatever move, and the dragon bishop will once again see the pawn. But in my head, because I have this dragon bishop here, who will also be unfrozen, I can actually move it into the freeze spell and then block that mating idea. Oh, they actually don't do that. They simply develop the general. Wow, that's actually very amusing. Very, very amusing. Okay, why? I'm not sure. Let's go here. This also offers a fair trade. Again, pawns do not get taken up in those explosions, so it's literally just a dragon bishop for another dragon bishop. And while they would be a little bit ahead in development and my king's defense is a little bit spotty, we would be even in material, which gives me a lot of hope that I would be able to accurately defend. Oh, that's an idea that I mentioned earlier, and I completely forgot about it. Okay, so they freeze my dragon bishop and push the pawn. I don't have a freeze spell yet, so I can't counter freeze anything, meaning this dragon bishop is probably just toast. Now, maybe what I can do is just push this pawn. And the idea is that should they take, it would explode their pawn as well, and then I can take their dragon bishop. Which is exactly what they do. Okay, so I do lose a bishop in that trade, which is not great, but I get rid of their most poised attacking piece, which is good. Again, it would have been nice to do that without getting rid of a bishop, which is easily one of the most influential pieces in this game, but it is what it is. We're playing a 1900 rated opponent. We weren't always going to keep the advantage. Okay, again, their time is coming down a little bit, and this thing moves like a king and a knight. So does it actually have a way in? I guess it would have to crawl in like this. Maybe what I can do is I can just like develop. Can I castle in this variant? Is that a thing? Because if I can, that's an amazing way to get my king out of the way and my rook into play, which does actually have attacking ideas. I would just have to open a file anywhere. Okay, if I play this, the only way for them to continue to advance is like this. If I can castle, I think I'm completely winning. If I cannot castle, then we'll figure that out when we get there. All right, we'll play this. I'm very hopeful that we can castle. It's tough. It's tough. I try to research these variants as best as I can beforehand to very comprehensively but simply explain the rules in the introduction, and also to orient myself before I dive in head first, but it's hard to see everything. Okay, it looks like I can. Wait, what? Why does that have the explosion icon over the rook? Does castling explode my king? Did they play this just to see if I would castle and explode my own king? Or did they play it to develop the bishop? Wow, that's not even close to how the bishop moves. Or did they do it to develop the bishop and pin this this dragon knight? Okay, I'm gonna try castling. I don't feel great about the explosion icon, but I think I should be able to castle. Oh, okay, we castled. Okay, what was the explosion icon there for? I think it's just, I don't think that's supposed to be there, but it just got looped in by accident because of the mechanics of the game. But okay, somehow we managed to do that. Oh, now they're just threatening this. I mean, I could just move them out of the way. That seems reasonable. Oh, well, yeah, I should be able to do that. Should they move the bishop in? I can just take. I don't really care that they get rid of probably my absolute weakest piece. And if they give a check or anything like that, I just move out of the way. Okay, that's exactly what they do. I shuffle out of the way. I don't really want to take this. Oh, is that losing? Oh, it is losing. I'm underestimating the value of just putting a piece next to the opponent's king way too much. I think that might just be losing. I mean, I have a freeze spell, but they have a counter freeze spell. Oh, goodness. Okay, maybe I can buy us just a little bit of time. I'm gonna freeze this area, and the only choice I have is to move the king out of the way. And I'm down to 23 seconds. This is so many good things in my favor. It's just, oh man. Okay, we'll see what the opponent does. On the right side, this is the only real attacking piece they have. And I have have two different ways to capture. So should they freeze here, they would actually also drop their, or rather they would also freeze their bishop in that movement. So I'm actually not still threatened somehow. Now, if I move anywhere, oh, the freeze spell undoes itself on the next turn, right? Yeah, which means the opponent can just take and win the game. All right, well, it's been a good run. We gave it an honest effort. There's just nothing that I can do here. Everything is stuck. Yeah, GG's to the opponent. Very, very good game. If they do want a rematch, I would be happy to drop one more game against this very strong player. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to offer them a rematch just in case they do. All right, head first into game number 3. This will probably be my last game. We start with the exact same opening. Should I do anything different? Probably, but I won't. We'll just advance these pawns and see if we can confuse the opponent. Okay, they advance the dragon bishop and drop the freeze. What did I do last time against this? Oh yeah, I counter froze the opponent. And then I think I just made like a random move like this. I think this time I'm gonna move here instead. Reason being, it allows me to develop this dragon bishop as a knight, since this pawn isn't in the way anymore, and it opens up this bishop a little bit more. Okay, their pawn advances. They're pretty clearly looking to develop the dragon bishop, and they're threatening this once more. I could play this, but the problem is the dragon bishop would move into the position, so I think this makes a lot more sense. Right, now should the dragon bishop try to move into the position, quote unquote, it would just get taken out by the explosion. Ooh, okay, it is trying to move into the position by threatening the general. I don't think that's a huge concern. I think I just play here. Should it move in even further, then I can just capture it with the general. I'm not sure if a general for a dragon bishop is a fair trade. I think it might actually even be favorable for me, even though this is kind of a key defending piece. Because I think this early in the game, defense isn't, it is a concern, but it's not the biggest concern if one of those defensive pieces disappears. Oh, what on earth? Am I toast already? No, they moved the dragon bishop in, which means I need to counter freeze. Oh, I see what's happened. And I don't think there's a way out of it. Okay, so obviously I have to counter freeze. There's no other option there. Idea being that when my freeze is undone, I'm threatening their dragon bishop. But the problem is, I think on the next turn, they're just gonna play the dragon, or rather this dragon bishop out this way, which means this would be a threat and this would be a threat. So I have to play like this, right? So that should they play this, they don't have that sort of double attack. And then I can deal with this first before figuring out how I'm going to stop that dragon bishop. Wow, that was a very deep find. Or maybe not. I mean, it was only kind of like a 2 or 3 move tactic, but in my head it combines so many elements that's like the Kasparov of explosive magic at play there. Okay, the dragon bishop does in fact develop, but not with this winning idea. Do I sacrifice my dragon bishop? I don't think I have a choice, so I will give it up, even though I lose a whole bunch of pieces here. Not to mention they could just take here, get rid of my other dragon bishop, and that's exactly what they do. And despite the fact that I have weathered the storm of both dragon bishops, I have no pieces left to my name, basically. So how do I get in there as quick as I can and make the counterpoint that I will survive? Whether or not that is true is a different conversation. Okay, let's try going in with this general. I could try going in with the rooks too, but it seems like there's no fast way for me to open up a file, and it wouldn't really make any sense for me to just lose a rook for a pawn to just lose a rook for a different piece right behind it. So we've got to go in with the general. That much is clear. Let's go in. Oh, the problem is general meets general, and it's probably totally fine. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to castle this way, and then I'm going to try to push these pawns down the middle of the board and hope that I can use the number of pieces the opponent still has on the board against them. The idea being that I can castle really fast and bring the rook into play, whereas they cannot. So if I have open files, I have counterplay of some kind. They aren't able to castle, so these rooks aren't coming out for at least a couple more moves. Okay, this general develops. Is it an actual threat yet? I have no idea. I could just play something like this. That seems to make a lot of sense to me, to be honest. I'd rather just trade them off right now. Again, a fair trade when you're down material. Probably not the brightest thing I've ever done, but it seems like my only chance is, whoa, wait a second, to play for this. Oh, they actually captured my pawn. So they captured my pawn, which also got rid of the general instead of just capturing the general. That's super interesting. Okay, so you'd imagine I have everything to win from, or rather I'd have everything to gain from opening up a file and putting these rooks to good use as fast as I can. They advance another pawn. Is this not really good for me? What if I just place a freeze spell here and push this pawn? They could place a counter freeze. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a different piece as well. Again, they have enough pieces that realistically they could probably just sack a whole bunch of them, or not even a whole bunch of them. They just have to sacrifice 2 of them for my rooks. And again, there are no free pieces in this variant, so if I were to capture them, then I would lose the rook anyways. So I have to get attacks going on the actual king. Something like bishop here, for example, would actually nullify the entire file. Whoa, pawn advances twice. En passant is on the board. Hold on a second. Okay, we like en passant. We definitely do. Okay, this is a little bit of a concern. Wide open diagonals, which the opponent immediately capitalizes on, so we'll move out of the way. And you'd imagine they just want to bring out the other bishop. And then pretty much any sequence of dropping those bishops into my king's position is probably losing for me. Okay, let's go here. Again, this bishop, they actually played right into that exact idea. This bishop nullifies the entire open file, but, you know, a little more pressure on the opponent never hurt anybody. Pawn advances twice, so it's looking to promote. If they do grab a dragon bishop here, then it's pretty much game over. So let's do this. We'll freeze this and then just drop the rook off for the bishop. This is my only chance. If they counter freeze my rook and promote the pawn, it's probably just about wraps. If they don't counter freeze my rook, then maybe I have some wild hope. Well, I guess there's also bishop here. There's really not a lot of hope left in this position, but ooh, they don't counter freeze. Ah, they don't have to, I see, because they can just block with literally anything, including the knight they just developed, or rather, the Dragon Knight. Right, they block with the bishop. Should I take? I'm left with absolutely nothing to play with. Man, if only there were jump spells too. Because in spell chess, there are free spells, but there are also jump spells, which you could have like applied to the bishop and then also taken the king. I don't know, maybe it's like forced losing if there are jump spells as well, but would have been cool, right? This is my way of coping with the fact that I got rock and rolled 3 times by 1900. Okay, so this is toast. If I move anywhere else, I'm not actually looking down an open file, so that's also toast. Is there anything I can do here? Anything at all? Let's just throw some Hail Mary pawns into the middle of the board. No. Oh, you can tell they just want me to resign already. They promote to a knight. Or is that the only thing you can promote to? No, you can probably promote to stuff other than a knight. But actually, I don't know. Let me not make statements about things I don't know. I don't know. I think you can promote to stuff other than a knight. But let's go. I don't even know. Let's go here. Now they just have to move their knight here and they're completely winning. A guy can dream, you know? A guy can dream. So they advance this Dragon Knight forward. Of course, I'm going to capture. Whoa, you can promote to anything, but it doesn't matter. You can even promote to whatever this is. But it doesn't matter because it is getting taken up in the explosion anyways. How funny would it be if I could just like get in behind their pieces? That'd be so spectacular. Problem is I don't know how. Like if I could just like work my way around somehow safely, maybe I could bamboozle the victory. King advances. Okay, they're definitely trolling me now. But maybe I could like somehow like bamboozle them out of the victory. I mean, they've pinned their own knight. Oh my goodness, wait, the king is advancing? Wait, if they try to bring their king all the way down, oh, it's King of the Hill. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I genuinely jumped to the conclusion that the opponent must be bamboozling me. That's so funny. They were literally just going for the King of the Hill victory. All right, with that, I concede that the 1900 rated opponent is just significantly stronger than me in this variant. But I did have a lot of fun. Those were some really good games. Shout out to the viewer that played me in the very first episode. Good game. And again, if you guys want to give Explosive Magic a try, it will be the first link in the description, and good luck to you. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.